Hi guys, and welcome to math. We're going to do parallel lines and transversals. You made it to chapter 3. Congratulations. This is a pretty fun unit. I think you guys are going to see some patterns and you're going to learn some basic geometry so that you can solve for unknowns. Okay, so the first question is, how can you describe angles formed by parallel lines and transversals? You're going to learn at least 8 different ways to describe those angles. But first, let's talk about what is a parallel line and what is a transversal. So the parallel lines are these that run straight and never cross. So they could go on for eternity and never cross each other. They're in the same plane, right? All 3 of these lines are in the same plane. So imagine a plane is like a piece of paper. All 3 of these lines are drawn on the same piece of paper. Now, a transversal is this line here that intersects 2 or more of these lines. And in this case, it transects a set of parallel lines. So we're going to learn some special names that describe these angles that are formed when we have a transversal crossing 2 parallel lines. So corresponding angles are these blue angles right here. So we would say that A and B are corresponding angles. They're in the same location relative to the parallel lines, right? And they are congruent, meaning their angle measure is exactly the same. Now, supplementary angles, this is a little flashback to, my goodness, what is it? 3rd, 4th grade, I don't know. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So if you have any angles along a straight line, the sum of those angles is 180 degrees. Now that's important as we start looking at these angles. So another term we have is vertical angles. You'll notice that angles that are similar or congruent are going to be marked by the same number of arcs. So here we have 2 arcs, and they're showing that these 2 angles that are opposite of each other are vertical. So their vertexes touch, and they are congruent. Now, we also have another set of vertical angles right there and there. So if we were to add these up, those would add up to 180. If we were to add these up, that would add up to 180. But your vertical angles are not going to add up to 180. They're just going to be equal to each other. So all of these together would add up to 360, which is cool. Now, when we talk about angles, we're going to talk about where they are in relation to the parallel lines. So if they are inside the parallel lines, we're going to call them interior angles. Just like if you were to paint the interior of your house, you'd paint the inside of your house, right? So angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6 are all interior angles, okay? Exterior angles are those angles that are outside the parallel lines. So if you paint the exterior of your house, you paint the outside of your house. I did that this summer. So we would say angle 1, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8 are all exterior angles. Now, we're going to get a little bit more specific about these interior angles. So we're back on the inside of the parallel lines. If we look at 3 and 5, those are called alternate interior angles. They are congruent, meaning their angle measures are exactly the same. Now, angle 4 and angle 6 are congruent as well. They have the same angle measure. So they are on the inside of the parallel lines, but they're on alternate sides. Do you see that? So this one and this one are equal. 3 and 5 are equal. Alternate exterior angles are outside the parallel lines and on alternating sides of the transversal. See, there's 1 and 7 and 2 and 8. And 2 and 8 are equal to each other, and 1 and 7 are equal to each other. So we would call them congruent. So as you do some work today, you are going to solve for angle measures, but you have to know this basic vocabulary before you get started.